And we are live, baby. It's so good to be back with another one. I'm sorry I had to take a break. I know everybody needed a break after that long season, 61 games, man. So I decided to take a few days off, but no need to fret. We are back, baby, with another one. Blue is our city, Manchester City fan channel. And bro, it's time to talk about all the new chatter out there. We got a lot of new content coming on the channel. I apologize, I've been gone, but trust me, we're going to kick things off today with a new series. It's going to be the Keep or Sell, man. It's about that time. I'm going to do 8-part series. So, we got a lot of players that we got to definitely talk about here. And this was inspired by a lot of content. I see Robbie and AFTV do this. So shout out to them guys, man. Them guys are inspirational. But I decided to do the Manchester City edition. So that's what we about to get into, baby. But before I get going, as always, I want to say, thank you guys so much for helping me grow the channel. If you're new to the content, bro, you new around here, you don't know what to do, bro, just consider liking the video, man. It doesn't cost you anything. Or subscribe to the channel, man. Join the family. It just helps us grow the channel and reach other Manchester City fans or other football fans out there today. And I'm trying something a little bit different, getting back in my StreamYard bag, so that way we can have a little bit more interaction. I know sometimes you guys are probably just seeing me or get tired of seeing me just sit up here talking. So without further ado, baby, let's get into it. So we're doing Keep or Sell edition. So this is going to be a slower video because I got to take my time in doing this. So who we talking about today, man? We talking about none other than Keep or Selling my man, Raheem Sterling, man. Starting off part 1 of this series, man. And I hate to be doing this to my guy, man, because my guy's been inspirational throughout the years, man. But he's had a tough go about things of late. But it is none other than Raheem Sterling who's going to be getting this thing kicked off. So where to start? So let me kind of get back over here, remove this off the screen. And man, at the end of this video, this is what I really want you guys to do. I want you to decide for yourself. I know some people feel a certain type of way about Raheem Sterling right now, but obviously I just want to be able to talk to the community and figure out, is Raheem Sterling a player that we should keep or a player that we should sell? But I'm going to present to you some facts that I found and some, interesting tidbits, if you will, to help guide your decision. I know some of you guys already got your mind made up, but I'm just going to present some facts, and then that way you guys can make your own decisions out there. So let's kind of get into it. And the first part I think we really need to look at is really the goal tallies when you talk about Raheem Sterling, because obviously Raheem Sterling's been doing his thing throughout the year since we got him back in 2015. But, he had a little bit of a rough patch this year. But just to what extent? Let me present to you guys some facts. So bear with me as I decide to share my screen. Make sure that this thing is all good on the StreamYard service over here. Might as well get my money's worth, if you will. So let's kind of go over here, kind of do this. Oh, everybody's seeing it. Everybody's seeing it. So the first thing we got to talk about, man, is Raheem Sterling, his goals, man. So as you look at his Manchester City career, and this has a little bit to do with Liverpool, but this man's obviously been in the English Premier League for some time. But when you look at all the goals that this man has done, he's got 145 goals overall from what we've seen. And he's got a lot of assists as well. Damn, that's a lot of assists. But keep in mind, this is a lot of different competitions. But we're going to get going with this thing, and we're going to talk about the club level and everything. But one thing I really like about this site, transfermarket.us, you guys do your thing with this, man, because what you can really see over here a lot of the times is that you can really see a lot of detailed action. So what do I mean by that? As a left winger, the man's got 72 goals and 49 assists. As a right winger, the man's got 39 goals and 52 assists. It even shows you the center forward action. So one thing that we'll find out about Raheem Sterling real quick is that you see that the man is obviously very versatile. Now, we don't really care about what he done for Liverpool, even though I know he's been, a Liverpool player. I got to put that back up on the screen at some point here. But, you can definitely see what he's definitely done for Manchester City. So when you look at Manchester City, the man's had, 292 appearances according to this website. He has 114 goals and 87 assists. And them some great numbers when you look at throughout the years of what Raheem Sterling's been able to do. So let's take a little bit closer look at those numbers. So obviously, we see with his Manchester City goals is, like I mentioned, 114 and 87 assists for Manchester City, right? But that's just, I think that's an overall stat. right? But when we take a look at the Champions League, and specifically in the Champions League, I'm going to take the Liverpool out of this equation. So what you're really looking at here is around 55 appearances in the Champions League. The man's had 21 goals and 18 assists. And I know a lot of City fans out there go, yo, but just imagine if he was just a little bit more clinical in front of goal, what the numbers would be like. And that's one thing Sterling obviously has to work on. But as you can see, he's putting a little bit of work there, and it done some good things for the club. Carrying on, right? So when we look at this now we're able to see what he's done this year specifically, because as you can see, he had a lot of goals overall, but this year he's maybe fell off the boil a little bit. There's no point even saying maybe. He definitely fell off the boil a little bit due to Phil Foden's emergence, due to the fact that he just really hasn't been flowing the way we all would have hoped he's been flowing like throughout the years. So this is really what we're seeing from Raheem Sterling when we look at this year specifically, and this may lead to why a lot of people have been frustrated with him. So he's got 49 appearances across all competitions, 14 goals overall, and then 12 assists. Forget the yellow cards and things like that. But he's also got, let's take a look at his goals as far as what position he's been playing. So when it comes to this year specifically, as a left winger, he's got 8 goals and then 6 assists. As a right winger, he's made 8 appearances, which I definitely would love to see him on the right wing a little bit more. And I get the reason why Pep has not been, putting him over there, because outside of Phil Foden, I don't think we have anybody to play the left side. Mahrez doesn't play the left side, but, as a right winger, 8 appearances, 1 goal, 4 assists. With those numbers, would we like those numbers to be a lot better? Yes, we obviously would. As a center forward, we can see that he's had 6 appearances, 4 goals, and 2 assists. So he's been a little bit better as being a center forward, but that's just where we're at right there with Raheem Sterling in regards to that. So let me stop sharing my screen. So bear with me 1 second there. But that's just the first overall point. Now let's get into the second point, right? Because obviously one thing we know about Raheem Sterling is Raheem Sterling's contract is set to expire at the end of the 2023 season. So essentially he's got 2 years left on his contract. And we all know what happens when it comes down to that last year of the contract. Things are not in favor of the club that we have grown to love so much. So decisions really got to be made pretty sooner than later. You know what I mean? So when you look at the transfer, and that's what we got to go back to, and that's one of the images I definitely want to pull up right here, is that, give a shout out to this guy, because when we got Raheem Sterling, right, from Liverpool, very young talent at that particular time, who wanted to join Manchester City, definitely came over to the club, and then time to share the screen again, because what happened? We didn't really pay that much. If you really think about it, we didn't pay that much, bro, for Raheem Sterling. So let me kind of do this. So you guys can see right here, we got him for 44 million pounds back in July of 2015. So really, that's not a lot of money, really, when you think about it. You know what I mean? So he's definitely lived up to all the money that we spent on. Of course, there's some add-on fees in there that actually transpired. But one thing I will look at is this, another reason why I love this site, is that really when we're talking about his running down his contract, we don't want it to come down to next year, right? So when you look at his value, according to this website, is that we all knew, around last year, we were talking about right before we got to the Leroy Sané situation and Leroy running his deal down and getting to the last year of his deal, we only got like 40-something million for Leroy. But, if Leroy's contract, let's go back to 2017, 2018 Centurion year, Leroy's numbers was up there ridiculous. Same thing that you're seeing with Raheem Sterling. Numbers were very high ticket prices around 2019. You can see, even according to this website, he was valued at around, I think this is talking about US dollars, so I'll use this, $154 million. Then by December of the same year, right, the man's up there, he's pushing as one of the best players at age 25 to right around $176 million. But as you can see, being that his form has kind of fallen off a little bit, now where are we? Now we're down a little bit less than 100 mil. And as we know, We talking about pandemic year right now. So, things are really rough. And according to this website, he's valued at 99 million US dollars, man. And I think that might even be a stretch because if we keep having him in this form, them numbers are just going down. And any club that will want Raheem Sterling will be, oh, it's pandemic. We can't afford this. We didn't have fans in the ground. So, at this point, we'd be lucky to get even 80 mil. I think if somebody came in for him, they would try to even get that number down from 80 mil. But, that's just where we at right now with the numbers. Now, consider if we decide to keep Raheem Sterling, right? If we decide to keep Raheem Sterling, we got to really look at, how much is he really going to be making? Because according to these numbers I got here now, oh, the wrong one. Now, this is what you get from Google. So I don't really trust a lot of these numbers, but some of the numbers will say that he's on around 300,000 pounds per week. I don't think that that's true. So what I like to do is I like to cross-reference. So I pulled up another site. And shout out to this site because the sites keep everything going. So if you look at Kevin's numbers, we can see Kevin's making the most at the club and he's earned that right too. But they have Raheem Sterling around 300,000 pounds per week. So that's a lot of money there. But then you could cross-reference that with another site saying he making around 200,000. So I'm just going to go with a number of 250, pounds per week. So that's a lot of money. But if we let go of Raheem Sterling, don't you dare come up on my screen. If we let go of Raheem Sterling, now we're going to have to fill his boots with somebody else versus keeping him and just signing him to a new contract. So that's kind of where I'm at with it. You know what I mean? So let me stop sharing the screen again. So that's one thing we have to look at. The next thing is I want to talk about a little bit about the pros and cons. And that's kind of what I'm talking about with Raheem Sterling. Obviously, I've showed you that the man can score goals, and we're going to go through the pros first. The pros first is that I see, one, he's a homegrown player. When you look at the Manchester City squad, last time I did the numbers, I think we're sitting right around 9 homegrown players all throughout the squad. So we got to be kind of careful of letting go of these players. So Raheem Sterling is homegrown. Second thing that benefits Manchester City is the fact that he is an England international, and hoping with the England international, we hope that, hey, he's England international, so all-time premium. You got to be able to pay that money if you're going to come in and get him. So that's some of the pros. The other pro that I see is that Raheem Sterling is a very versatile player. Like I've mentioned in several videos throughout this channel, is that one benefit, at least to me, when it comes to Raheem Sterling, is the fact that he's able to play multiple positions. But I would like to see him play on the right a little bit more, or even through the center, sometimes, because he's just so versatile of what he can do. Now, I'm going to get on to the cons because you got to take things at both sides. So one thing that I would definitely say about the cons about Raheem Sterling is that we know, and we have to live with this in Manchester City, as Manchester City fans, rather, is that we know he's not that clinical in front of goal, bro. Like, that's just one thing that you got to live with Sterling. You got to understand that this guy is not going to be clinical in front of goal sometimes. And that's just maybe not in his DNA. But the other thing too, that is that, when he seems to be a very momentum based player, if he's feeling good about himself, he has that momentum, he has that energy, he has that drive, he can propel himself to do things really, really well. But when things are going bad for him, he kind of tends to be in kind of like a downward spiral, in my opinion, with Raheem Sterling. He doesn't tend to fluctuate from game to game to game. Either he's doing really well or he's doing really bad. We just got to get to a sense of normalcy, or even like a consistent baseline with him. Another pro that I forgot to touch upon this, and this is what I think Guardiola values about Raheem Sterling. One thing that Guardiola values, whether he says it or not, is simply this: your best ability is always your availability. Availability is number one. So as far as him being available, Raheem Sterling is one of the most fit players that we have at this squad. Tell me when's the last time you seen Raheem Sterling injured? You ain't seen it, bro. You have not seen it in a while. I can't remember the last time the man was even injured. So I think that's one thing that Pep Guardiola knows about Raheem Sterling. One of the cons that I have to touch upon real quick, because I know I had to switch that up a little bit to get that pro in there, but one of the cons I definitely see is the fact that it's not really going to help us out too much, is that this contract situation. We know it's going to be up in 2023. So we don't really have time to dilly-dally because, as you can see, his numbers are steadily going down as far as his value if he keeps performing this way. And then another club will use this to say, he's out of form, man. It's pandemic time, bro. We can't afford all of this. Let's make some kind of deal, which really doesn't benefit us as Manchester City fans. You know, we've mostly been a buying club. Leroy is our highest selling transfer player. So if we're gonna sell Raheem Sterling should easily top Leroy, but that's just what my thoughts are on the opinion. So let me move on to the next bit simply here is that, bro, say a team does come in there and talk about, I'm reading some chatter that Arsenal want to come in there and they have the idea that they're going to get Raheem Sterling, like he's going to link back up with Arteta. You know, I think this would be a good move for Raheem Sterling in the sense that Raheem Sterling's a very level-headed guy. I don't really see this guy getting in trouble off the pitch. You know, I don't remember reading any stories like that. Maybe some people had something to say about his tattoo at one point, but he doesn't do anything stupid off the pitch to me. You know what I mean? And when you look at Arsenal, he be going down to London, bro. You know, who wouldn't want to be down there in London? You know what I mean? He's linking up with Arteta. But the one caveat is this: who got that bread, cakey? Who got the cheddar? Who gonna come in with that dough to be able to spend to get Raheem Sterling? Because in Manchester City, yo, we should be like, yo, we want at least 90. We want at least 90 mil. And what I'm thinking about, I'm going 90 million pounds is what we should ask for. Might be asinine a little bit, but look at Jadon Sancho, bro. Jadon Sancho, I think Dortmund want 80 for Jalen. You know what I mean? So I don't know. You know what I mean? So that's just where I'm at with it. I think it got to be at least 90 million pounds. And when I think about the Kroenkes, when I think about Arsenal, bro, they ain't got the cheddar to come get him, bro. Let's just keep it real. I shout out to all the Arsenal fans, man. I wish you guys no disrespect, but you guys know your club, bro. You know that the Kroenkes are not trying to spend that level of money right now. So who's really going to come in and do it? Is one of the top clubs in another league going to do it? You know, are we going to see Bayern splash the money? Are we going to see Dortmund splash the money? Are we going to see PSG splash the money? I don't know, bro. So I don't know who's going to be able to pay up that fee to get Raheem Sterling is my point there. So if Arsenal want to come in with the cheddar, they are more than welcome to do it. But ain't no point in talking. Let's see what you got on the table, baby. Put in an offer and let's see what you're talking about. But I doubt that they would even come in with an offer. That's just my thoughts on it, man. So at the end of the day, this channel is really about your thoughts on the matter. So this is keep or sell Raheem Sterling is what we're talking about today, but this is an 8-part series, so this will be part 1. But the most important thing is, baby, let me know what you guys are thinking out there in the comments, man. Should we sell or should we keep Raheem Sterling? In my opinion, this is what I think. I think we need to keep him. We got him for 2 more years, right? And that means that he has an opportunity to really get back to his highest levels for us to really see if he is going to be the player we need him to be next year. That's just my thoughts, but it's all about what you guys are thinking. And please let me know in the comments, should we sell or should we keep Raheem Sterling? The other added value point in there is I want to say this. I see you, Raheem. I know you're doing things. And Raheem Sterling, at the end of the day, Raheem Sterling's a brand now, bro. I know he's got a brand, so he's got some value there in the market. So that's one thing we should use as City fans to be like, nah. He's not just a player. He's a little bit of a brand. You know, he has some value in what he's doing out there for the community. So Marcus Rashford's been doing his thing as well, but Raheem Sterling be doing his thing to me at least. But at the end of the day, it's all about what you guys think about out there. Should we sell or should we keep? So leave it in the comments. So who's next up in part 2, man? Next up will be none other than the energy. And if you watch anything about my videos, you know I refer to a certain player on this team, calling him the energy, the force, man. Because my man just got, he got batteries for days, and the man can run his butt off. And when we doing well, this certain midfield player is AKA the energy. So we're going to be talking about Bernardo Silva in part 2. So feel free to do me a favor too, man, as we continue to go through this, man. So like I said, man, if you're enjoying the content, please hit the like button. I'm sorry this video took a little bit longer, but I'm trying to get back in my StreamYard bag. So I'm trying to do a little bit things, but if you enjoyed the content, feel free to hit the like button. But also, if you're new to the channel, consider subscribing to the channel, baby. And on the next one, we're going to be talking about Bernardo Silva. So until then, everybody be good. I'll see you guys out there in part 2. I'm out. Peace.